Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Lore Sports proudly brings to you the best racing podcast in the world. Now, here's your host, Lauren Leach, the color guy, Mark Allen, the Loose Lugs Racing Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Loose Lugs Racing Podcast, sponsored by the Corp Racing and Valley Gasket. Thank you, Tim, Ben, and Carrie, for all that you do for us and all of the communities. It's amazing, like we say every time. Mark, episode 187, man. How are you doing?
Hi, buddy. I'm back in the man cave, someplace I haven't been most of this year, but I'm back home now, man.
Yeah, good to see you back there. Excited for this episode. We're going to have Majeski join us in just a moment here. So that'll be fun to talk to him before he races at Talladega tomorrow. Big playoff swing coming up here with just a few races left. So excited to talk to him again about his playoff run coming up here and his season to this point. So excited about that once again. Hey, I wanted to start this thing. We lost someone in the racing community again. We lost former Toyota executive Les Unger. Bob Parker's put a nice post up there that said he was passionate about motorsports and managing Toyota programs, including the entry into NASCAR. And if you remember that, Mark, man, there was so much surrounding that entry into NASCAR for Toyota, and it was kind of a pipe bomb situation where it was just so many people had so many thoughts about it and didn't like Toyota and all that, and how far we've come in the 15, 18 years, whatever it's been.
There's still people that don't like Toyota, and hey, anybody that wants to dump money in the sport, man, so be it. I never had no problem with Toyota. I think most of them are practically built here anyway, so I don't know. Hey, anybody who wants to pour money into a racing, man, more power to them.
Absolutely. So sad to hear the passing of Les Unger there. On the flip side of that, congratulations to the Priest family on the birth of Bentley Ryan. And also congratulations to the Braun family here down by the Slinger area on their addition of Payson as well. So a couple of congratulations and additions to the racing community.
And maybe some future racers there. So, yep, congrats there.
Yep. Also wanted to quickly provide an update on the Reddick family as well. Rookie, this is from Alexa Reddick, by the way, on Instagram. Rookie came back 1 kidney lighter. He is recovering and still coming out of anesthesia. The surgery went well, and his team is confident he will not need treatment after. The next couple days, he will be sore, so I will take a break here while we get him over this hump. They are watching his BP and heart to see how they are responding. So some positive news for the Reddick family there, and Rookie. Glad to hear that update.
Still a tough deal, man. We got to pray for that, So, but them kids are tough, man. So let's hope that's all pointing in the right direction, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I wanted to say before we move on here, it's part of the short track news I had, but I'll say it quickly before we bring Ty on. Kelby Island is the senior Honda NASCAR Youth Series national champion on pavement there. So the Islands, Jonathan Island, Midwest Tour champion, we see him racing less and less over the last few years. Boy, I remember his Oktoberfest. What was that last year? I think it was 2 or 3 years ago now. Blew up a couple of motors in the dedication that he showed to get back on the track. My, oh my. But Kelby is the senior Honda NASCAR Youth Series national champion. So that was pretty cool to hear.
All right, man. So, yeah, the Island name keeps on going. Yeah, we sure did appreciate Jonathan, past champion in the Midwest Tour. And, I remember that lacrosse. He drove all over the state, trying to find motors and stuff and trying to make that go. Yeah, we saw that was the most passion I think we've ever seen anybody try to put into a race weekend.
Pretty crazy. But congratulations to Kelby on that championship there. Pretty cool. All right, Mark, why don't we pause there for just a little bit and go to the hotline and let's go talk to Ty Majeski.
Let's do it, man. Let's go to the hotline.
Let's do it. All right, Ty, thanks for joining us again. Man, you've had a busy couple of weeks, but it's been good for you. How are you doing?
Good, yeah. It's a busy stretch of the season. Start out at Oktoberfest and then Winchester. Now we go 3 in a row here for our quest to defend our 2024 Truck Series Championship, and then to follow Nashville the weekend after that. So yeah, busy stretch. Probably my busiest stretch throughout the season, but a lot of crown jewels and obviously important truck races in this stretch of the year. So excited for it. I'm actually here in Talladega right now in our hauler. Our truck's going through tech for the second time, so hopefully we pass it and we can go grab something to eat here in a few minutes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you brought up Nashville. I get all excited about Nashville, and I got to go back to the fairgrounds. So, hey, man, what's your thoughts going into the weekend at Talladega, man? What you thinking?
Well, pretty much the points are so close that we might as well not even have run the first 22 races. I mean, everybody's within a handful of points. Obviously, Corey's locked in. But the rest of us 7 are within, I think, 5 points. So one stage you could go from 8th out of the playoffs, out of the championship race to 2nd, well in. So, obviously going to have to execute these last 6 stages of this round at Talladega and of course, at Martinsville. So obviously a lot out of your control here at Talladega. But I think the biggest thing for us is focusing on qualifying well and getting stage points in the first couple stages. So if something were to happen at the end of the race, you still have those stage points to fall back on. So that's one of the focuses for us going into the weekend. And typically our speedway stuff qualifies pretty well. So hopefully this weekend is no different, and we can capture some of those stage points. And regardless of how we finish, still capture some points.
We've talked over the years about, speedway racing being one of the most challenging things that you've had to do going through your career, because it's just so different there. How do you feel that you've progressed over the years, and what have you done to maybe get even better at it?
Yeah, it's hard. I think the biggest thing that you need to do is just do it, is just reps, right? Having more races under your belt and getting more comfortable in different situations. I switched up my spotter mid-season here, and not that there's anything wrong with my former spotter. I just felt like that a change needed to be made for multiple reasons, and this will be Brandon Wilkinson. It'll be our first speedway race together. We'll be here at Talladega, but really confident. I've listened to him multiple times on the super speedways throughout his Cup season with Ryan Preece. And I feel like, my style and his style of spotting are going to mesh really well. So much of being successful on the super speedway races does land on your spotter and the trust that you have between the two of you. And I feel pretty confident in what we've built over the course of the last 7 or 8 races together, and feel good about what we got going into tomorrow.
Is that a decision that strictly you make, or is that a decision that the team has some input in? What does that decision look like?
Yeah, it needs to be right for everybody. I just felt like throughout, multiple people on the team just felt like that we maybe needed to do something different. And those are hard decisions to make, because you grow, you create friendships with, people on your team, especially your spotter. At the end of the day, he's the one talking you through the race. So there's a lot of conversations that are had throughout the season, beyond our jobs, right? And you create that friendship. And but at the end of the day, we're in a performance-based sport, and sometimes you have to make those hard decisions, to hopefully better your situation or your career. So sometimes you can't let friendships and your heart get in the way of what's going to make you be successful on the racetrack. So unfortunately, those are some of the hard decisions that have to be made throughout your career. And it was certainly a decision that was made, not just by myself, but by the rest of our 98 team and some of the higher ups at ThorSport. We thought it was the right change to make, even though sometimes those are really difficult things to do, especially mid-season. Try to do it the right way. But sometimes there isn't a right way to do that mid-season. So, but again, since the change, We finished outside the top 5 twice, and 2 of those were on the road courses, one of which we ran out of gas running inside the top 5, and the other we had a top 5 going until a late race caution came out and derailed that. So we could have easily been in the top 5 all 8 races since the change. Not saying that's the reason, but sometimes you just need to make a change just to, change the energy around the team. And sometimes they're coincidences. You see it in the NFL all the time. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a change to jumpstart the team. And whether that was it or not, we've certainly, really, I felt like got our season back on track since we made that change. So, like I said, feel good about what we have going into Talladega and the as well as Martinsville and Phoenix, and hopefully we find ourselves with a shot at another championship.
Hey, can you lean on your teammates, man? You're probably going to need some help there. So are you going to get some help from your teammates? You guys have a meeting on that or anything?
I hope so. It's always difficult to always map out, how you're going to help each other. I feel like Daytona, it's easier because for whatever reason, the race just gets more jumbled there. There's more options. Whereas in Talladega, we kind of just hug the yellow line, and it's really hard to get enough energy on the outside lane to get anything moving. So sometimes it's hard to find each other throughout the race here at Talladega. But yeah, obviously the Fords are going to try and work together as much as we can. Obviously Lane and I are battling each other for the final 3 spots left. Hopefully we both can advance to Phoenix and have, give Ford a 50% shot at winning the championship. But hopefully my ThorSport guys are behind us, and we can, hopefully have some power in numbers. We have 4 other trucks out there, 5 total, just in our camp, and hopefully we find those guys at the end of the race and we stick with each other.
You had a lot of qualifying speed at the super speedways over the years, and that continued this year, a couple of front row starts there. How much do you balance that versus drivability, and does that matter so much in the trucks as we hear about maybe Xfinity and Cup, or is it just let's have a qualifying speed and we'll figure it out from there?
Yeah, I would say Daytona is probably more that type of a race, or a race for the trucks where handling really comes into account. Talladega is just a little bit more flat out. I don't want to say it has more grip, but just the way the layout is and the way the corners are, Talladega seems to have less handling issues come into play. So here, we don't build the trucks any different really for Talladega or Daytona, but for whatever reason, our trucks seem to be faster at Daytona, which means they probably handle a little bit better. So when we come to Talladega, usually we're just a little bit off in qualifying speed versus Daytona for that reason, I think. So hopefully we still qualify inside the top 5. Typically our stuff is pretty raceable. You've seen ThorSport trucks be very, very strong, especially in the race at these super speedways as of late. So look for tomorrow to hopefully not be any different.
Let's move on to Martinsville a little bit. A short track. That's kind of where you grew up there on the short tracks and all that. Certainly a track that you've circled in the past there. But your battle, you just mentioned him, Lane Riggs, who has been really good. He won at Milwaukee, a couple of other short tracks. He also grew up at the short tracks there. Moving into Martinsville, what's your outlook there?
I mean, I feel good about it. Anytime we go to a short track, I feel like we have a shot to win. Surprisingly, Martinsville's probably been our worst short track out of all of them. We've had, top 5-ish speed, but never that raw pace to go out and dominate like we've seen at some of the other places with the 98 team. So we're going to change our setup up a little bit again. Haven't felt like we've really put, like I said before, a truck that can go out and dominate. And I feel like that's kind of what, Joe and I typically are capable of doing, especially on the short tracks, is putting a truck out there where we can dominate the race, and we just have not been able to do that since we've gotten together in 2022. So I felt like we've had some races where maybe under the right circumstances we could have won, but it just hasn't panned out that way yet. So looking to change things up just a little bit and hopefully be a little bit better there here in the fall.
How was the experience of running there a couple of weeks ago, man? You ran, got the late model down there. So how did that help you out to try to calm that down to run Martinsville?
Well, that's part of the reason why I did it. Is Martinsville is such a rhythmatic racetrack where you just have to do the same thing over and over again. And if you get out of that rhythm, sometimes it's hard to get back into it, whether it be lap traffic or a truck you can't seem to get around. It's difficult to go around there and be super consistent. So just want to get some reps there in the late model stock. I felt like, the late model stock was probably the closest thing I could get to a truck, other than, an ARCA car, which they don't run there. So I had a lot of fun running with Chad Bryant Racing down there. He's one of my close friends and gave me a couple big breaks in my career to keep it going. He gave me a shot to run 6 ARCA races in 2019. We ran 3 of them. Kind of propelled me to my, Nice opportunity. And then when I was let go from Nice, we ran the 2 late model stock races in Florence and won both of those. And, was a big part in me landing here at ThorSport. So, just, a great friend of mine and glad we were able to go to Martinsville, even though it started off a little bit rocky. We were able to transfer in through the last chance race, started 39th, and a couple wrecks later, we found ourselves in the top 5 racing for the win. So a lot of fun going there, and hopefully I can just kind of use that rhythm and hop right in the truck and be up to speed right away and hopefully qualify up front, grab some stage points, and put ourselves in a good position for Phoenix.
You mentioned you guys have had a great partnership, you and Chad, over the years there. But I tell you what, when you get in the late model stock, if you guys ain't changing an engine or two or battling some issues before those races, something you're not racing, because, man, you guys dealt with the whole full deck of cards when you race with him.
Yeah, we have yet to run a late model stock race without an engine change, and I think we're at 4 for 4 now. So, just one of those things. I don't know. I feel like if Chad and I were given a fair shot at a race without having to completely uproot the day, we could probably do some pretty cool stuff. Just kind of one of those deals. Sometimes the racing gods that's the way it goes. And it's been a struggle for sure, but we've managed to win a couple of those races with those engine changes. And I thought Martinsville was a really cool showing for us coming from the back like that. A lot of those races have been very track positioned based, and we were able to drive from literally the back to the front and have a shot. Starting second row with on a green white checker. So that's all you can really ask for. I really wish we had a fair shot at it. If we would have been able to qualify and qualify where we should have, I felt like, we probably had a car capable of winning. We actually ended that race with a completely broken half left front shock. The shaft was literally broken half from one of the wrecks we were in earlier in the race, and we were still able to come through the field and have a shot to win. So definitely want to go back and try and get a grandfather clock with Chad.
You said you want to run more late model stock races, specifically with Chad too. How is that partnership working? Is that his car that you're just involved in? Is it a joint venture? How is that working with Chad at the late model stock rink?
Yeah, he owns like 4 cars and rents them out to different drivers at different racetracks throughout the season. And anytime I get a break in my schedule and there's a big race coming up, we always try and at least do one race a year together. Like I said, we have a great friendship that goes really beyond racing. And, we talk, even though we only race, once or twice a year together, if that, we still talk literally every single week. Just sometimes about life, sometimes about racing. So it's good to have those types of people in your corner. And, always trying to run races when we can together. It's a lot of fun working with him. And, hope to do more in the future.
Hey, man, last week, man, I wanted to go back to that over at Winchester, man. I was there 4 years ago, and you just see that place, and it's complete intimidation, And you had a mechanical last year, but you just plain downright spanked them down there last weekend. How is it for that place? And tell us about Winchester.
Yeah, Winchester, I've been to a lot of racetracks in my career, right? NASCAR tracks, a lot of short tracks. There's not a track out there that gives you the sensation of speed like Winchester does, just because it's so narrow. It's rough. It's got a lot of character to it, and the super late models are just fast in general. So you take them to a place like that, it feels like you're flying. So fortunately, we're able to finally close out that race. It's been a couple years in the making. It felt like we've had chances the last couple years to win, and haven't been able to close it off. It's a lot of fun running with Michael Hind and their group, and we're able to race their Hankey car out there at the 400 and finally bring it home.
Yeah, I went out there with Mark a couple years ago, and just unbelievable. I can't wait to get back to that place there. Continuing on that whole deal, you and Michael Hind have also created a great partnership there. He gets to come up and run Oktoberfest last year and this year, and you get to go down and run Winchester there. Talk about that partnership and how that came about.
Yeah, really, it started in 2023 when we were, running for the ASA Stars Tour. Felt like, our car was probably not prepared correctly to go there. There's just not that it couldn't last or anything. We just had to do a lot of work to it, right? To change all the suspension components, special wheels, special hubs, specifically to go to Winchester for that race. And they already had a group or a car lined up ready to do it. And, the Hinds had, respect for our race team and how we do things. And, they made us an offer to run their car, and we swapped it out for Oktoberfest. And, he gets to come up and run the week of Oktoberfest, and I get to go and run their car to Crown Jewel with the Winchester 400. So I hope they have a lot of fun doing it with us. I know we have a lot of fun doing the Winchester 400 with them. And the Hinds are a great group of people and have, certainly helped us a ton in our quest for different races and championships. So really appreciate them and really appreciate their friendship. And it's certainly a lot of fun kind of collaborating together and winning some big races.
They respect you so much that Michael didn't even run Winchester, which he typically has in the past there. So that says a lot there. I want to talk about Oktoberfest too, because it was another day in the office for you there, man. Another dominating performance.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, the second we unloaded that car on Wednesday, we just had a lot of raw speed, and that allowed us to really nitpick our race car and making good adjustments to it to just make sure that the raceability and the feel I had in race trim was there. So even though I left Thursday and Friday and didn't get a chance to race, I knew we were going to be incredibly hard to beat on Sunday. And I knew when the green flag dropped that somebody was really going to have to hit it to beat us. And I was so confident. As I said in one of our other interviews, a lot of times in that race, you see me kind of get out front and try and hide and set the pace and kind of push the pace to push everybody else. And I was so confident in what I had early on that I was able to just kind of lay in the weeds in the top five and wait for my chance to pounce on the lead.
I felt like that race just flew by too. I mean, pretty clean racing. Man, it's 200 laps, but it just seems to go by quickly. Does it feel that way behind the seat as well?
Well, honestly, it feels like one of the longer races just because, you spend a lot of the race sometimes not even going very hard. That race is different than probably all the other crown jewels we have in the sense that it turns into sort of a chess match and who's going, who's not, who's riding, who's pushing their pace. That for whatever reason, that track always turns into a chess match on, typically you're not going as hard as you can the entire race as you see some other places like Madison and Kaukauna and Slinger where, track position means so much. I feel like lacrosse is a track that if you have a good car, you're going to be able to make the pass. And even, as other places, track position has become so important there. It hasn't seemed to have swung that direction as much. So you're able to just really lay in the weeds. If you think you have a good car, you're going to be able to get to the front. So, and that's kind of what I felt like I had at Oktoberfest this year, and was able to kind of just lay in the weeds and not show my hand. Sometimes you get out front and you show everybody what you have. It gives them a shot to work on their cars. So I was able to sort of lay in the weeds a little bit and not show my hand, and hopefully made everybody else think that they had the race in control, and was able to take advantage of a couple of those restarts and finally get the lead from Andrew.
And that was pure domination there, dude. So, hey, man, tell us about, you're running 2-barrel carburetors up here. and you're running 4 barrels down south area like that. Tell us what the feeling is behind that and give us a little insight on that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not a lot different. We don't change much. To be honest, from a 2 barrel to a 4 barrel, we run our same package really wherever we go, just with some minor tweaks tailored to each racetrack. But yeah, there's a little bit more horsepower. I think it ends up being, just around 80 to 100 horsepower on the dyno. I think the biggest difference from the 4 barrel to the 2 barrel is just the racetracks that we go to. So like, when we run the 4 barrel racing, typically we're, down south in Florida at Winchester, at Nashville, places that naturally just wear tires more anyways, regardless of what carburetor you have on. So I think the race would be similar at those types of places, whether you run a 2 barrel or 4 barrel. Heck, I'm not even so sure that a 2 barrel wouldn't be better on lap 150 at Pensacola than a 4 barrel would be. So, not much changes for us. I think mostly for our race team, it's just the racetracks more so than it is the carburetor.
Hey, some big news dropped since we talked to you last too. Is you're moving into the '88 Menards truck for next year, which is just awesome to have you and Wisconsin company like Menards team up there. How special is that to you? And maybe talk to us about how that came together. Because Mark and I have said for years, whether it be Johnson Controls or Menards or some Wisconsin company, it would be really great to see one of the bigger ones that could afford to get in the sport or are in the sport already get behind you. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, first off, I'm so thankful for the opportunity from Menards and from Duke, Rhonda, Allison, everybody at ThorSport for allowing me the opportunity to hopefully fill the legacy that they have built for so many years. That yellow '88 truck is just an iconic truck in racing and NASCAR in general. So to be the guy chosen to fill the seat is pretty special to me. It's something I certainly don't take lightly. There's a lot of pressure that comes in filling those shoes, and the legacy that Matt and Menards and Duke and Rhonda have built together over the course of the past 20 plus years. It's my honor to take over that seat, and hopefully we can get that truck back in victory lane where it belongs, and hopefully capture championships as they have with Matt over the years. So yeah, John and I got to go up to Eau Claire and do their share builders event in August, and got to meet some of the Menard family and some of the people we're going to be obviously doing business with and being partners with, hopefully for many years to come. So obviously the start of a new beginning for everybody, and I think it's probably bittersweet for everybody involved, right? Being with the same driver, with the same the same program for so many years, it's hard to sometimes make that change. And I just hope I can make that transition as easy as possible for everybody, and get out on the racetrack and just do our job as we know how to do it. A lot of my team will stay the same, my trucks will stay the same, just the wraps on the truck are going to change. And so honored to be obviously from Wisconsin and a Wisconsin-based company. I feel like it's such a great opportunity for all of us to make the most of the partnership together.
I was going to have a 4-part question coming up next, but you answered one, that you got to meet John Menard and got to tell a little bit about that. So I'm down to 3. One, is the truck going to be yellow for next year, if you can share that? 2, oh shoot, I just forgot it. Will you be in any commercials there? So I guess I'll do a 2-part. Any commercials, and will the truck be yellow?
I think the truck will definitely be yellow. Menards has kind of built that iconic look with the Menards yellow on, Brandon Jones and Ryan Blaney and, Frank Kimmel over the years, right? There's always been that iconic yellow look. So we certainly plan on having that yellow truck next year with the 88 on the side of it. I don't know about the commercials. I know we've talked about maybe doing some commentating in the booth in some of the ARCA Menards series races. That's been discussed. So look to probably have me in the booth for some of those ARCA races, which will be a different experience for me, but a different challenge that I would certainly look forward to. But other than that, yeah, I haven't totally talked about commercials, but certainly would do whatever they want me to do. So obviously outside of my comfort zone, but something that I would certainly step outside of it for.
I thought of the third part here. What has Matt Crafton meant to you as a teammate?
Well, Matt's just obviously a legend in NASCAR Truck Series racing with 3 championships and multiple wins over the years, and he's been in this a long time, and he has a lot of knowledge, and he's certainly one of the guys I lean on when I have a question going to a new racetrack that I've never been to, or just general characteristics about the trucks. He's always a guy you can lean on, and has been a good teammate to me over the course of the last 4 or 5 years in my tenure at ThorSport. So like I said, just for me, it's just an honor to take over for a guy like that has so much credibility within the sport and within the series. And like I said, it's just a complete honor to be the chosen guy to take over that seat. Certainly big shoes to fill, and looking forward to getting in that yellow race truck in Daytona.
You get to keep Joe Scheer too. He's coming along with you also, right?
That's the plan. Yeah, not much will change on the team side or on the truck side. We'll still have my trucks, my team. Hopefully most of our guys will stay together going into next year. And the only thing that'll change is the color of the wrap that gets put on the trucks.
I want to end with this here before we let you go, buddy. Appreciate your time, as always. You got kind of 2 crown jewels left in the short track rank to go get. Nashville in a couple weeks here, and Oxford 250 up in Maine there. Are you going to take a shot at it next year and go chase that Oxford 250?
Well, we'd have to win Nashville first. Oxford is just such an anomaly racetrack with, just different rules. It's much more difficult than what it looks like. It's not a matter of just putting a car together and going up there. There's a lot of different rules packages that we have to change. So I think probably the most likely scenario that you'd see me up there is probably in somebody else's car. Obviously I haven't had, any discussions really over that, but it's hard for us. It would be difficult for us to get our cars to go up there legally without bolting a bunch of weight on our cars, which weight is a big deal there when you go to a low grip racetrack like that. You don't want to be bolting 100 pounds on your car just to compete. So yeah, I'd like to. It's certainly a bucket list race for me. If we won the All-American here in a month, that would probably sway my decision to have to go up there for sure.
Well, man, like I said, we appreciate your time here. Hope the the tech went well for you guys the second time here. Go have some fun tomorrow. We're rooting for you as always. We appreciate the hell out of you, and can't wait to see how the rest of the season goes and you in that highlighter yellow truck next year. So thanks, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man. If nothing else, we'll see you at the Snowball. All right, man?
We'll be there. Can't wait.
All right.
Man, we have some great discussions with Ty, don't we? So knowledgeable, so gracious with this time with us. It's just greatly appreciated. A lot of drivers are, but some of the things that he's able to talk about and talks well about is just priceless. Winning that Winchester 400 finally, that was cool to see. Dominated also at Oktoberfest, and now he's trying to go back to back. Which is, it's hard enough to win one. Trying to go back to back is just as difficult, if not more.
And just think, man, he was in the hauler. He's right there at Talladega in the infield. So that's kind of special too, man. So spot on for him, man. And 3:00 tomorrow afternoon, it's go time.
That might be our first hauler interview there, so that was pretty cool. But the partnerships he's made with Michael Hine to run the Winchester, Chad Bryant to run a couple of those late model stocks. Racing, he is so passionate about racing that he's willing to go from where he lives to La Crosse for a day, to go from there to North Carolina, to come back that same night to back to La Crosse. The dedication that he shows is unbelievable.
He thinks he can slip Oxford in there if he wins Nashville. Just like, okay. We know how Oxford is. We run that on iRacing. That's a challenging little bull ring. So, yeah, but I've known that's been on his bucket list for some time. So we'll see. But it's good to hear that. I'll see him down at Pensacola, man. I'll be able to catch up with them down there.
Could Oxford, if he goes up there, could Oxford land on the Fun Tour?
Oh, that's too short a notice, man. I don't even know the dates. I'd rather go back to Nashville. I know that's the same week as Phoenix is running, the championship weekend, and Nashville's down there. Man, you haven't been there yet. That's another one that's one there that'll get your attention too, man. That's a fun place.
I gotta go to Nashville. I'm just trying to think of a reason to go to the Oxford 250 other than it's a crown jewel. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to go there anyway, but if someone that we know is going up there, that would be pretty cool to see. But
well, Derek Krause would be there. I'm sure he'd be up there, and maybe I don't know if Austin Nason might fire up that way. We know Bubba Pollard likes running up there, so we kind of know a couple people. It ain't like we're going in blind.
No,
but boy, that'd be awesome. Where is that? It's in Oxford. Is that Maine?
Maine. Yep, Oxford,
Maine. If I went to Maine without my wife and then maybe even eating a lobster, well, she probably would be forced to come along, because going to Maine has been on our bucket list for a vacation here for a couple of years now, where we want to do the coast and get some fresh lobster and check out all them harbor towns and everything like that. So if I went off to a race without her, I don't know how that would fly, dude.
Hey, some things about Oxford. We didn't plan on doing this, but just something I'm looking at right now. It's a 38 mile in Oxford, Maine, like we said. It has 14,000 seats. The Speedway has the largest seating capacity of any sporting venue in Maine. Any sporting venue.
And Maine is twice the size of Wisconsin, practically. But there's a lot of wilderness up that way, man.
I've had a coworker go to Maine, and it was just awesome, especially in the fall. Just tremendous. But we'll see what happens. But good luck to Ty on going back to back at Nashville Snowball, and we just appreciate him coming on. So thanks, Ty. All right, so Winchester 400, we've talked about it a few times. Ty won it over Sutton and Butcher. Cole Butcher, with a third-place finish in the 400, secured both the CRA Super Series Championship and the ASA Stars National Championship. So we know Cole is a very talented racer. Got to see him in a trucker this year. Hopefully his career continues to progress, because he's certainly a great talent.
He does get another ride in the 62. It was just announced, so he is getting another run in that red 62. But, down at Winchester, Derek Krause got a 13th. But how about Jesse Bernhagen? He got a 14th down there, and also gets the award for being the last one in the pits, I see. So, that's what Wisconsin people do, hang around, be first to show up and last to leave. That's what we do.
That's what we do. Yep. But what a great event that is. Can't wait to get back down there. Maybe next year. We'll see.
Yeah.
Moving on to the ARCA Menards series here, Mark. Trevor Huddleston picked up the victory at the Bull Ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He's currently the point leader by 34 points over Kyle Keller. The final race of the 2025 ARCA Menards Series West season is at Phoenix coming up here in a few weeks. So they got one race for the West.
They finished their season always down at Phoenix, so that's what they do down there on the West Series.
Yeah, the Menards, the actual ARCA Menards series ended, a week or two ago, where Brendan Queen was the champion.
And now he's been announced that he's getting a full-time ride in the truck series with Colic, huh?
Yep, he's going to be full-time. The first driver that we've heard announced full-time for the Ram team next season for Colic. So that's big news. Let's talk about news here since we're going there. Brett Holmes is going to return to the NASCAR trucks to pilot the number 1 for Tricon Garage this weekend at Talladega as well. So Brett Holmes, another good talent. So good to see him back in the truck. And also Frankie Muniz returns this week after he hurt his wrist. So good to see Frankie back in the truck.
Yeah, he fractured his wrist at Darlington. He said it's been a pesky kind of injury. But, he's pumped to come back to Talladega.
Some IndyCar news real quick. Rinus VeeKay announced as the driver for Juncos Hollinger Racing next year. So he moves over to Juncos Hollinger.
Okay, IndyCar news, off-season news, man. We'll get a whole bunch of that on the off-season here.
Mm-hmm. Xfinity then, Eric Almirola wasn't scheduled for Martinsville and Phoenix. Justin Bonsignor was supposed to race Phoenix there, but because the team is going through the Owners' Championship and going for the Owners' Championship, Joe Gibbs Racing opted for Almirola to finish out the year. Almirola did say he did have a talk with Bonsignor there, so that's nice that they were able to talk about it.
You know, if Almirola would have ran a full season, man, he'd be in the Final Four, man. When he's in that 19, man, it performs. So
It does.
we'll see. Maybe all of a sudden they lit a fire under him to run full time next year. We'll find that out.
Yeah. Viking Motorsports announced Connor Mozak will drive the 99 Xfinity car the final 3 races. Unfortunately for Matt DiBenedetto, that means he is out of the car. The driver for next year is still to be announced, though.
That 99 has underperformed all year, man. So, no, changes had to be made there. So we'll see what happens there. Unfortunate.
We talked about Brendan Queen a couple times here. He's going to run the 11 for Kaulig the rest of the year as well in the Xfinity Series.
You know, that 11 does have potential, man. We just got to find the right combination to get that thing going because we know that 11 can perform.
It can. Justin Haley won't return to Spire Motorsports in the number 7 Cup car next year. It's still to be determined who replaces him, but Daniel Suarez seems to be the top choice there. We'll see what happens. It's still to be determined what Justin Haley does. Chris Rice was on TMD NASCAR, and he said a couple of things. First off, they have a great relationship with Justin. It's late in the game, but if they can come together on something, they would love to. So that could be a landing spot for Justin to maybe do a truck cup kind of deal or something. Also, he said that Kaulig Racing's alliance with RCR is going to be no longer after. He kind of said this year, but from what I understand, it was clarified that it'll be still an alliance for next year yet. So there's some clarification that needs to happen there, but eventually Kaulig and RCR are going to be not aligned together.
A lot of moving parts there this week, man. There was a lot of news coming out of them camps. So, yep, that was the news this week.
Samantha Bush, the wife of Kyle Busch, was recognized by President Donald Trump and spoke at the White House today as part of the Trump administration's announcement of a deal to lower the cost of IVF and fertility medications. Obviously, very important to the Bush family. They have the Bundle of Joy Fund, which I've personally donated to in the past. That really helps families that have to go that route and try to have a baby because it is extremely expensive. So some good news there, and cool for Samantha to be there and speak at the White House regarding that situation.
Yeah, because she had her issues with that, so she knows what that's all about. And so good deal there, man. Good thing that spotlight's put on that.
And speaking of the Bush family, Kyle Busch's crew chief for 2026 will be Jim Pullman, who is currently Justin Allgaier's crew chief in the Xfinity Series with Junior Motorsports. So Jim Pullman, he has worked with RCR in the past, so RCR gets him back, and he'll team up with Kyle Busch next year.
Yeah, he's taking over for Randall Burnett. That's going to do something else that he hasn't announced just yet. So, wow, Allgaier's going to lose his crew chief. You know, the rumor has it that Allgaier might be doing his last tour next year and then go on to the business side of it. That is a rumor that I heard late this fall, and we'll see if that is going to happen. But, yeah, that's a big deal. See if Kyle Busch can turn the calendar and get his career going again, because this year's been really sad, man.
Yeah, and actually we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Randall Burnett is going to be the crew chief for Connor Zilich. So that was announced a few weeks ago, and that's why he hasn't been the crew chief the last few weeks, and Andy Street was moved to Kyle Busch. So that was announced there that Randall will be the crew chief for Connor Zilich, and Andy Street is the current crew chief for him.
Well, that's kind of strange because on Majeski, that's what they said about Randall Burnett, that there was something else that was going on, or if there's going to be some additional stuff or whatever, but don't know. That was something that was typed up today, so I just kind of took it with a grain of salt there. But yeah, you're right. We did bring that up that he's going to be with Zilich, so we'll see. Maybe there's more there.
To end the news thing, I kept this for last purposely. End of an era for Venturini Motorsports. They started out at Rockford Speedway 52 years ago and have been in ARCA for the last 43 years. What an incredible run they've had. Remember, they are transitioning to Nitro Motorsports, led by Nick Tucker. So the team is going to be rebranded as Nitro Motorsports. But the Venturinis, man, meant a whole lot to the sport. Cool that they started out at Rockford 52 years ago. I know they got together as a family and kind of took a family picture there. We got to meet Big Bill at Road America.
You got a hug by Big Bill.
Not a kiss, but a hug.
A good hug.
I think I got a picture somewhere too. I was trying to find the picture. You might actually have that. And if you have that, I wouldn't mind getting that back from you. I'm sure I have it somewhere, but I would like to see it again. And the easier way might be for you to try to find that. But what a career for Venturini Motorsports. It's sad to see the family get out of the sport, but thankful that it'll still be racing with Nitro Motorsports.
Yeah, that's a long time, man. That's a long time to keep it in the ARCA series, man. And yeah, good luck with their adventures. His daughter Wendy, she's an announcer and she's been staying isn't she with PRN or MRN as a pit reporter, and she does a fantastic job. She used to be on TV just a little bit. So yeah, good luck to that whole family and where they're going with that.
For sure. Yep. Any other news things that you want to talk about before we talk about Las Vegas?
Man, you covered everything that I have on my notes, man. So you're pretty you're pretty thorough. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Xfinity Series at Las Vegas, to recap it. Almirola won stage one. Sammy Smith started to think that he may be underpowered at this point. Jones was struggling. Creed was struggling bad. Mayer said his oil pressure is low. And then on top of it, Sanchez and Williams were speeding there. So a whole lot of nerve-wracking stuff going on in stage one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, right away, Mayer came right. It wasn't even 3 laps, and he said he was having low pressure. So it must have been the sensor or the meter itself, because he still ended up getting a top 10. So, but otherwise, man, that would scare you if you're running out for oil pressure. So that's not good.
Man. And then in stage two, what a save by Austin Hill. My goodness.
That was the save of the weekend, man. That car was everything but wrecked, and he saved it. Unbelievable.
Unreal. Almirola sweeps the stages. Quapple had a slow stop. The pit gun broke for his team. Thompson and Bain were speeding. Thompson also missed his pit box on top of it, so that was unfortunate. Sieg and Green had an uncontrolled tire. So, man, a lot of penalties here on pit road.
Always on pit road, man. And later in the race, we've always said the more it hurts.
The more it hurts. Mayer later on would fall off the jack under his green flag stop. Thompson would spin, and then a close call for the lead between Zilich and Almirola. Wow.
Yeah, tough race in there, man, at the end here. Hey, you're within 25 laps, man. You got to make it happen.
Almirola would go on and win the race over Zilich, Allgaier, Day, Sanchez, Love, Ryan Sieg, Taylor Gray, Mayer, and Hill.
Connor Day with a 4th finally gets a top 5. Expected more on him. We know that 17 can perform, but he's starting to get the feel of it. So we'll see if he can keep moving up there.
I was just going to mention Corey Day, top 5. He's been one that we've been watching. Obviously, his mentor is Kyle Larson, so cool to see him inside the top 4. I tell you what, though, Sanchez and Love kind of had a disagreement there on pit road as well.
There won't be no Christmas cards sent to them each other one, because hey, they talked it out. No fisticuffs, but it looked like it was getting pretty heated, man. And there was some strong words said.
There was a shove there with the fist on the chest a little bit. So Love said he didn't like to air it out, and I know we're kind of doing that here. We've gotten to know Jesse Love over the years with him racing with Wimmer around the Midwest. But yeah, he looked like he was pretty upset, and it sounds like it's been going on for a while with him and Sanchez. And you know what? The playoffs will bring that out even further.
You betcha, man. It's time, and someone does you wrong, man. Hey, there's nothing wrong with talking about it afterwards, though. when somebody uses a car as a weapon is where you draw the line. So, but yeah, sometimes you say something, man, you can't take it back. And when you got Martinsville coming up in a couple of weeks, it doesn't take much to somebody lay a bumper on you and ruin your day, and can actually ruin your whole year right there. So try not to make enemies here at the end. That's the way I look at it.
You're right. Connor Zilich got the fastest lap, 30.442 seconds, or 177.387 miles per hour. This is what the points look like going into Talladega. Zilich is up 82, Allgaier up 44, Love is plus 20, Mayer is plus 8, Jones is minus 8, Creed is minus 21, Quapple minus 22, and Sammy Smith minus 24.
So, hey, whoever wins, if they win on it, the point leaders there, somebody wins this week, man, they're locked in to go to Phoenix, man. It's a big deal.
That is a big deal. And you know what? Sammy Smith is the defending winner there at Talladega, so he's in the worst spot points-wise right now, so we know that he can get it done, so someone to watch here. And while we're talking about that, why don't we go into our picks right away for the Xfinity Series here, Mark. So Sammy Smith, defending winner. I get to go first. I am going to take Austin Hill.
That's your third time for him, man. You kind of hung on to him to the end. Hey, man, I'm going to take his teammate, Jesse Love. Why not? Them two, I bet you any money, just like all year long, them two are going to start 1-2 on the race. They always seem to be up on the front row. So, Jesse Love for you, man.
Also, let's talk about our truck pick real quick because there was no racing from the trucks last weekend. Grant Enfinger is the defending winner. I will take Grant Enfinger.
Why not? That was my pick, dude, but you took him away from me. Hey, I'm going to take somebody that's got a brand new sponsor with TYM North America, and and it's red, and it just looks awesome. And you know what? And it's a Ford, yeah. So, hey, Ben Rhodes, man, yeah, that TM. I looked that up. It's they help small farmers and they sell tractors in 40 countries. So it's kind of a big deal. See him get in there with a red truck, man. I gotta take that. So Ben Rhodes is my pick for the trucks, man.
Very good. All right, the Cup Series race at Las Vegas last weekend. Right away, Hamlin had a bad shift there, and he thought maybe it was going bad on him. So we were waiting to see how that worked out. Briscoe had a slow stop while leading. McDowell got a commitment box penalty. And then Blaney had a left front go down and nails the wall. His day would be over.
His day would definitely be over. That in-car, isn't that weird? They go in the corner and all it wants to do is just keep going right straight. And, boy, he pummeled that wall. You knew that car was creamed after that one.
Oh, yeah. Byron would win the stage.
Boy, Byron sure looked pretty stout right there. Him and Larson looked like Hendrick had their act together right there.
Elliott would have an uncontrolled tire in the next stage. Wallace would be speeding, but Larson would win it.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think about that black with the gold? I kind of like that. It was different. You had to look at it. It wasn't a traditional blue and white Hendrick car. So I like that paint job.
I like it. There's just something iconic about, the Ricky Hendrick paint scheme. I don't know. I just love the red and blue.
Yeah. It was something different. And it sure looked fast, man, because, he led 129 laps that day. So he was definitely up front all day.
Briscoe would brush the wall on the restart. He thought maybe he had toe link damage. Bowman and Gibbs would make contact coming to pit road. And then the big incident of the day, Ty Dillon was trying to come to pit road, but was kind of up in he was in the racing lane. Byron couldn't avoid, and they wrecked hard. Byron had just lost the lead to Larson by getting loose, so he was in second. What an incident there.
And he pummeled him right there. The sun was right there kind of a little bit. That could have probably caused a little bit of it. But you never expect a car to be in the middle lane, and there was no communication, whatever. And Byron he said it was a head scratcher, even though he still had his helmet on. But, wow, just something like that, man, can just destroy your whole year. And, then they right away Joe White, their spotter, he got to Talladega and they told him, hey, you're fired. And so he gets to go home. So they dug up a different spotter for the 10 car, unfortunately. But yeah, that's smarts for Byron, man. He's now fifth in points, so he's outside the cut line right now.
Yeah, you heard about Ty switching spotters there, how important they are, and hopefully that doesn't affect friendships and how hard those discussions are. Joe White did make it down. He said he parked the bus and got fired. He was going to Talladega, not going to be spotting, but was going to be helping colleague in some sort of situation, but no longer getting that opportunity. It was weird for a lot of things. Ty Dillon said his spotter should have let other people know. His spotter said he did. Byron's spotter didn't see it. And then in addition to it, Ty Dillon did not. A lot of times what they'll do, I've heard a lot of drivers talked about it. Dale Jr. said he would be one where he would dive low on the backstretch and then kind of come back to signal. Some people use their hand out the window. No signal from him. Ty Dillon was relaying on the spotter, and it just went bad. But speaking of the spotter situation, so AJ Allmendinger's spotter, Frank Daney, is now listed as a spotter for Ty Dillon. TJ Bell is now listed as a spotter for AJ Allmendinger. So there was more movement there with colleague.
So, hey, all that stuff happens really fast. Even Byron thought that all the pit cycle was over with, and the 10 just stayed out longer. And, sometimes you see them. We've seen other races where somebody comes in and you're like, that was a close call, but you didn't expect to see a car that far up on the track. And yeah, he tried to hook because Las Vegas has always been a tough pit road to get on. It's always been that way. And so, boy, Byron's got to perform now, man. And we know how he runs at Talladega. He's already won the Daytona 500, so expect him to be up front this week too, man.
No doubt, yeah. So a little bit more about Joe White. He said it was determined that he would not be spotting for Ty next year. I think I said this week. So he wouldn't be spotting for Ty next year, but he thought he would be in colleagues' future in some sort of fashion, but obviously not now. But anyway, moving on there to clarify that. They would also wreck on the restart. Gibbs, SVG, Austin Dillon, Ware, Zane Smith, Bell, Elliott, Chastain, Allmendinger, others involved there.
Yeah, a little pile up here at the end here, yeah.
They would restart with 14 to go. Briscoe and Logano took 2 tires there. Hamlin got by Larson and then by Briscoe with 3 to go on and win and punch his ticket to the championship 4. He won over Larson, Bell, Briscoe, Reddick, Logano, Bowman, Busch, Preece, and Brad Keselowski. It is win number 60 for Hamlin, tied for 10th all time. And something we don't see from him very often is he got pretty emotional in victory lane. His dad is going through some health challenges and has been feeling sick for the last a little bit here. And he was pretty emotional and said, normally I get out and I kind of pick on the fans a little bit here, but he wasn't going to do it that time. So, but boy, 60 wins. That is an incredible career.
That is a career, man. He'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer, man. He came out with 4 tires and Briscoe had 2. That made a difference there. Mm-hmm. The Jackman, the Jackman sure is having a problem on that 11. He did it again, where there was problems with the jack getting underneath the car. Got to clean that up. I was thinking, if Hamlin wins another race, like let's say Talladega or Martinsville, if he wins, then that actually makes the point standings. Going to make that effect, and he's got 2 teammates there with the 19 and the 20 being there for the points, and he could actually help one of his teammates out just by winning. That it could actually turn it into a points deal, and that's how somebody could get in. So there is something there for Hamlin to try to see if he can get a victory. Don't expect him at front. You're probably going to see him right in the back. He'll be on the caboose probably all of Talladega, but there is some incentive to win this race on Sunday.
Yeah, he might be riding around until it gets pretty late there. Or he might just be going for it all because it doesn't matter for him. So you're right. He can maybe position his teammates a little better, but he's got to look out for himself too. So We'll see what happens. But Briscoe did have the fastest lap there in Vegas, 29.394 seconds, which equals 183.711 miles per hour. The points look like this. Obviously, Hamlin goes to the championship 4, like we talked about. Larson's up 35. Bell is up 20. Briscoe's up 15. Byron is minus 15. Elliott is minus 23. Logano's minus 24. And Blaney is minus 31. Blaney claims it's not must win. It's pretty darn close if it's not. But we've seen him get it done before, and Logano runs well at Talladega. Elliott, Byron. This is going to be a really interesting Talladega race coming up this weekend.
You know how Talladega is, man. It's just so unpredictable. It's crazy things that go on. You don't want to be in the big pileup. Track position does matter sometimes, maybe not. Sometimes we've seen the leaders take each other out, and we always get a big wad and pile them up. I hope that I'd like to see 500, 500 miles on that one without a pileup. Let's run them 3-4 wide. Let's get them back to the line. It can be done. It's been done before. So, it's Talladega weekend, man. Anything goes.
If I remember correctly, there wasn't a big one in the spring, or at least they all came back to the finish line there at the end. So that's happened a few times. You're right; it can be done. So hopefully we see that there. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is the defending winner out there. You get to pick first, buddy.
Isn't that amazing? I'll tell you what. Blaney said, "I am going to win." He proclaimed it, and guess what? I can't take nothing away from Blaney, and we've seen how he runs Talladega. Ryan Blaney is my pick in the 12 car.
I'm going to go with his teammate, Joey Logano, to get it done at Talladega and go to the championship 4 as well. So that'll be fun to watch. Before we end this with the TV schedule and all this, I just want to mention this. Congratulations to you, Mark. You have won the Pick'em Challenge between you and myself. So you are currently up 21. Man, the wins is what did it for you. When you get double the point if your driver wins the race, and you're beating me in that category by 11. So there's the 22 points, the difference there. So congratulations, man. I look forward to getting together at some point in the winter and having a great meal.
And having some meat. But yeah, hey man, you don't know how many fans that come up to me and I give them free advice from the man right here. So I ain't got a big head, man, but I am dreaming of prime rib up at the Black Otter, and I can toot my horn now, but next year I'm sure we'll be back into the grind again, man. I'll let you try to get it back.
Last year really hurt because I worked myself out of a hole to tie, and you won on a tiebreaker. You destroyed me this year. I'd rather be destroyed and have just a bad year than to lose on a tiebreaker. But yeah, I think you have more DNFs than I do as well. So it's just been a strange year. When I look at the averages and the points and all that, it's just been a strange year. The Cup Series I really struggled in this year, but good year for you.
Well, I've strategically lost in certain places. So when it comes to a road course, you say SVG, bang, or you say Connor Zilic, in the Xfinity Series, and all of that stuff has just landed perfectly. When you beat me one week, I come back and I get the victory the next week, and I was doubling my points that way, man.
You did. That was huge. I was watching it all year. I'm like, of course, I would win this week, so you get to pick them. But it's just fun. We'll continue to do this throughout the year and see if I can close the gap any. But Talladega looking up this weekend here. Tomorrow, Friday, at 11:30 on FS2, truck qualifying. 3 o'clock on Fox is the pre-race. 3:23, the truck series will go green on Fox. Stages of 20, 20, and 45, 4 sets of tires in the 80s with 0% chance. Saturday at 10:30 on the CW app is Xfinity qualifying. 12:30 on True TV is Cup qualifying. 2:30 on the CW is pre-race, and 3:10 on the CW, the Xfinity race gets going. Stages of 25, 25, and 44. 4 sets of tires in the 80s with 20% chance. Sunday, all on NBC, 12:30 is pre-race. 1:28, the Cup Series race will get going. Stages of 60, 60, and 68 with 6 sets in the 70s. 50% chance in the morning, 25% chance in the evening. Sunset is 6:06 Central Time, so keep that in mind. They might be getting some weather on Sunday.
Yeah, it looks like I just studied the weather down there. It's more predictable this weekend down there than it is up here. Yeah, it looks like it's an early morning kind of thing, and it's going to clear off in the afternoon. Man, it's still going to get down in the low 40s down there overnight. So, wow, I mean, they're starting to feel the fall chill down there also. Hey, of all of them, man, it's amazing that Fox, the big Fox channel, is running the trucks at 3 o'clock on a Friday. I just like, wow, look at that. Fox is cutting off their mainstream Friday programming, man, to run the truck race on the network. I think that's pretty impressive.
That is awesome for sure. And then NBC on Sunday too is running the Cup Series race, so that's good news there as well. Hey man, before we end this, we got to talk a little bit of short track racing coming up here. We got Dells Raceway Park this Saturday for the Alive for 5 championship. Great point battle going in there. It's a combination race with the Tundra Super Late Model Series, so they have a title on the line for Tundra as well. That's pretty close, so that's going to be cool to see who wins the Life for 5 and Tundra Championship. And then Sunday, the World of Outlaws down at Angel Park in Sun Prairie. So a lot of racing this weekend here. Kind of ends the season up here. So get out and support your local short tracks.
Yeah, that is for sure, man. Hey, I just seen the entry list, man. They got 34 supers for the Tundra and for the Alive 5. They got 21 trucks, 23 602s, and 22 Midwest dash cars. If you add that all up, that's even 100, man. So the pits are going to be full on Saturday. Might have some weather to deal with. There is a rain date for the Dells on Sunday, 2 o'clock. Can't really predict the weather. Nobody seems to know around here what's going to happen. So it's going to be one of these, get up in the morning and figure it out for yourself. But I will be at the Dells. If there's a window to go down there, I could go down and hang out with some people and drivers and walk around the pits. That's good enough for me, man. So that's what I'm going to do. And then, yeah, Sunday, I don't think the World of Outlaws have been to Sun Prairie Angel Park. I think it's over 20 years since they've been down there. This is from a rainout from back in when they swept through the state back in June, and that one got rained out. So that is a night race. I think it starts at 6 o'clock, and it's supposed to get down to 39 that night. So fans that are going there, man, dress like you're going to the Halloween, because it could be a little nippy on Sunday night, but the cars going around will warm everybody up right there, man.
Hopefully people can make it to both of those great events. Again, a couple of championships on the line Saturday, and then Sunday with the World of Outlaws going to Sun Prairie with Angel Park Speedway. So super cool that they're coming back up here for a date after missing in June. So get out, support your local short tracks. Thanks to Ty Majeski for joining us earlier. Thank you, Mark. Thank you to Tim, Ben, and Carrie for the support here as well. Thank you, everyone, for your support. It means the world to us. We are so many positive things and things to work on that just makes my day for sure. So we appreciate you so much. It truly means the world. So, hey, man, appreciate you. And, hey, we'll talk to you soon.
We'll see you down at the track, man.
See ya.
This has been a production of Lore Sports. Hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you for listening.